here at the FIBA Women's AmeriCup in 2025. They're hanging from the Raptors here in Santiago, Chile, as they've made their way here in the arena. Got an opportunity to get fired up an hour before tip-off. Everyone was in their seats wearing red, white, and blue for Chile, and they'll be set to blow the roof off this joint as we get set for our fourth game of the day, second game of Group B. Earlier, we saw Puerto Rico defeat Colombia in a tight one. Colombia had an opportunity to tie the game with a 3. At the end of that one, Puerto Rico sneaking out with a win. Here is the world rankings, FIBA world ranking presented by Nike in Group B. Team USA, the #1 team on the planet, and we'll get introduced to them right now, led by, of course, number 4 today, Flossie Johnson. The Americans, a very young squad, most of them college students still playing at the NCAA level. They'll have the opportunity to really play at the senior national team level for the first time. It's a different game, Amy. Very different style of game. Carla Gay, Amy Audibert with you. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. And Amy, different game for this team. It's going to be physical. It's going to be fast. How did they adjust? That's the question going into this one.
Well, I think, and even though these women, they're wearing USA and it comes with a certain precedent, a certain expectation, you said it. Most of these women have played the U9 teams. They have experience, but not at the senior level. And so sometimes when you come into these games, while you still have that poise, just get up and down. Just get your legs going, clean catches, just get yourself going, because the other thing is this crowd is going to be pumping for the other side too. So I think they'll be okay, but at the same time, got to expect some jitters and excitement. They should be excited. Rare opportunity to play for the senior team, and I have to believe that audition mentality is in the back of most of their minds, right? I mean, you want to prove yourself when you have the opportunity to do it.
Toughest 12 to make is the national team, regardless of country. Team USA might be the toughest in the world. Dawn Staley, the head coach of this squad, a lot of FIBA experience on her coaching staff. We'll talk about that throughout the evening. You hear the crowd get the full throat. That means Chile walking through the entrance ramp, and we'll let you take it in at home. Nothing like representing your country in front of your home fans, friends, family, everyone is here. But you know, with Chile across your chest, it's more than just a 3,000 packed into this gym.
Entire country, 5 of these women are making their senior national team debut. On top of it, that alone, they're doing it at home. Friends and family right here in the stand. So make no mistake, when the ball goes up, absolutely you've got to compete. That being said, you also have to really, really soak these moments in too.
Heard the loudest cheer for the captain, Barbara Cusino, number 10 in white for Chile. A lot of responsibility on her shoulders. She's expected to score in bunches for this squad, and going to be doing it against a very tough Team USA team that is deep all the way up and down this roster. But you want to start the tournament strong. Group B, it's going to be tough. They had the opportunity to see 3 other games. We saw teams sort of slowly getting their feet underneath them. Let's see how Chile and the US react in their first contests. We'll pause now for the playing of the national anthems. First from Team USA and then Chile.
Porque este es el momento de escuchar el himno de los Estados Unidos.
pie y con respeto para entonar el himno nacional de Chile.
Traditional exchange of gifts between these two teams before they do battle. But what a way to start this game. As this capacity crowd going a cappella on the national anthem. And goosebumps. I don't know about you, Amy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, now you snap into basketball. Chile can hit a couple shots early, and anything can happen because they are going to have this entire building behind them, right? They really are, and it's going to be the entire game because as long as you play hard, your country's going to have your back. And I think this group of women understand the opportunity. This is rare air. You don't get these opportunities to play at home, look in the stands, and see people you grew up with, people you love. You don't always get that at the international stage.
Fernandez, Garcia, Rodriguez, your three officials from Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil. Starting five for Team USA. Most of these women making their debut at the senior national team level. Van Sluten, Edwards, Booker, Blakes, and Hidalgo in the backcourt. And they're, of course, led by a legendary Kara Lawson, great player, now turning into a fantastic coach.
I love that her bar is always high, and it never lowers. That's the one thing that I just love watching and listening when Coach Lawson's speaking.
And a starting five for the host nation, Chile. We'll have Campos, Ojea, Perez, Cosinho, who you heard the loud applause for, and Sanchez. They're led, of course, by their head coach, Christian Santander. And it's going to be loud in this arena. It's not a big venue, but the noise gets trapped in. And this South American crowd will cheer and chant throughout the night.
These are my kind of Saturday night lights. In the gym, in the Hooper Garden.
Countdown to Tissa, under a minute before we get the opening tip between Chile and Team USA. Well, for Chile, they're trying to get back to the golden era of Chilean basketball. And that was a long time ago, Amy. 4 straight South American titles back in 46, 50, and 56, and 60. We're talking 1900s, folks. A lot of these players weren't even born yet. And here we are, the lowest ranked team in the FIBA World Rankings presented by Nike. But they have a chance for a big upset to shock the world. Off we go. Team USA in the road blue, Chile in the home white. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. First game for these two teams in Group B. And the first touch for Edwards on the block. She's the captain of this team. Missed a shorty. It's going to stay here. Last touch by Chile. Put 14 back on the clock.
Chile's average height is 5'9", so when that ball's in the paint, that's going to force collapsing.
Team USA going to look to take advantage of their size, no question. Van Sluten already on the block. Kicks it back out. Blake's in and out. Another offensive rebound here for Team USA. That's going to be tied up. Jump ball, possession arrow in favor of the home team. You talked about the average size that Chile has. They're going to have to block out with every shot that goes towards the goal.
They almost looked a little jumpy or antsy on that deep. They just couldn't corral the ball. Certainly not lack of effort.
Blake's almost came up with a steal, tiptoeing on the end line, but stepped out of bounds. The Chilean possession with 19 on the shot clock for them to work with. Their first opportunity at offense here in this tournament. Campos hearing it from the crowd. Campos weaving through traffic. Ojeda gets fouled, and she'll go to the line.
The high hedge from Van Sluten forced the ball the other way. Chile maintains their composure, still gets inside to the rim, and fearless attacking. Right? We're talking about the size, the disadvantage at size. Well, they're going to use that to their advantage.
Valentina Ojeda, first time at the line. Able to scratch for the first points of the tournament for Chile. Played 2 seasons at VCU. And the NCAA averaged 19.4 points. A sharpshooter from 3, 43% on threes in her second season at VCU. And she's able to score from the line and get Chile in front. And this crowd into this game. It's Hannah Hidalgo looking to penetrate. Attacking the rim, can't get it to go. And one and done that time for the United States. Campos calls out the set. Now attacking the rim, got bumped, no call. Hidalgo will push the other way. Edwards on the rim run, got hammered, and she'll go to the line.
But it wasn't just Joyce Edwards. It was also Grace Van Sluten running hard. Your bigs getting into the paint in transition. That's really tough to match up with. That's going to be a problem all night for Chile.
Joyce Edwards announced herself to the world in that final game in the NCAA Finals. A loss to UConn, but she's going to have a bright future for the rest of her time at South Carolina.
We'll be hearing her name for a long time to come. You can't believe she's still 19 years old.
Yeah, it was a fantastic freshman season for her. Feels like South Carolina just continues to pump out talent. A lot of former Gamecocks and current Gamecocks in this tournament. And we'll see a couple of them. Turnover there for Chile. First one of the night. It's going to be something that they're going to have to try to mitigate here in the opening.
Yeah, and not just Chile, any team. You're going up against a Team USA. Your value on possessions is extremely high.
Madison Booker. Speaking of value on possessions, throws it away. He's trying to find Van Sluten. Van Sluten's been active off the ball to start this basketball game.
And for this USA, their starting lineup, 3 20-year-olds, 2 19-year-olds, and you already mentioned a lot of their first opportunities at this level.
Perez weaving through traffic now, waiting for her squad to join her. Sanchez will tee a 3. She knew she missed it, tried to follow it. Goes out of bounds.
Well, if you're keeping your glass half full early for Chile, a lot of their empty possessions are resulting in dead balls.
Yeah.
So they're able to get back, sprint back and set up their defense.
There's Madison Booker. Edwards at the nail. Very dangerous from this area. Lost control of the basketball. 2-on-1 opportunity for Chile. Campos to the rim. Hidalgo will push the other way. Hidalgo shows it and gets a layup to fall. Talked about getting back on defense. That time, Chile not able to get back in transition, and Hidalgo took advantage of it.
Well, that was on a make, too.
That was Booker coming away with the swat. And how about your big running the floor? Edwards to the basket, can't complete the layup. Follows her own somehow. Van Sluten attacking, falling away, left it short. And that last touch, they say by Chile, will stay here. Corral doesn't like the call, but it was right.
Well, look at the defense. And I think Edwards just looked like she lost the ball on the rip there. A tough finish on the other end.
Booker, her shot off the mark. She's not going to miss many of those. Again, USA basketball, and again, the crowd disagrees. There's Johnson. Inside, Edwards hanging in the air, couldn't get the fall. Van Sluten following. An active first 4 minutes here for Van Sluten.
And USA had 3 opportunities on that possession, right, to score. And so you got to believe that one of them is going to fall. An extra effort on the offensive glass.
5-4 is the score for Team USA. 6:39 remaining in the first period.
Look at the effort from Flage, trying to get over top of a screen.
Perez gave it up. Van Sluten in the open floor with numbers. Takes the hit, attacking, and a late whistle will send her to the line.
Those are the ones that are frustrating as a player because it was a late whistle. If it went in, would it have gotten called? Right? Those are the ones that are tough.
Right.
And the fans are certainly going to have your back on that. That Van Sluten actually opened up a little bit and presented the ball when she went to finish.
So Van Sluten hearing it at the line. Last season with Michigan State, 15.5 points per game. Struggled from the foul line, just shot 63% from the free throw line. Missed her first of the tournament here. And her second. Perez has it, trying to work on Hidalgo. A really good defender is Hannah Hidalgo. Ojeda. Sanchez in front of Flage Johnson. Deep three on the way off the mark. Campos tried to save it. And she stepped on the end line.
And Chile's gonna have to find better shots than that. There were still 6 seconds. I know the shot clock's winding down, but that's one skip pass. Well off the three-point line, fairly contested, right? The first possession, they really attacked the rim.
In the first game of tournaments, you always see teams sort of struggle to get going offensively. Defensively, it feels like everyone kind of knows where they need to be. It's almost like the start of the regular season for your club team. Meanwhile, it's Perez driving the other way. Ojeda shows it. Flage did a good job of staying in front of her. Campos using the Ojeda screen. Rocinho from the same spot, fought better of the three. Finds Ojeda, who's left alone. Good patience underneath.
And on a possession like that, Chile is using multiple screens, moving the ball around.
Booker takes the bump. Can't get it to fall. Perez on the run. Hidalgo in front of her. The half Euro got it to go. That's such a tough move. And keep your footing to be able to finish over the defender.
Yeah, pull up on the move, to your point. Almost that Euro step slows the pace down a little bit. It's tough to contest.
Hidalgo will pull up, and in her grill, she couldn't hit. And Perez once again on the run. Gets it back. Great ball movement by Chile. Ojeda missed the layup. And Hidalgo showing you the speed back the other way. She is a blur. Booker inside, Edwards. This is her office. And she's a CEO, can't get it to go. On the offensive rebound, 2 jerseys around her, and goes Mike and drill for 2.
Yeah, the relentless pursuit. The defense is trying to stay vertical so they don't get called, and while you're staying vertical, she's going to get her board to put it back up. I love her patience around the rim on that second chance.
So poised at such a young age. Can't speed her up. A rip there by Hidalgo, she's known for that, and an easy 2. This Team USA now starting to tighten the screws defensively.
And Hidalgo, by the way, she's not getting back. She's picking you up full court on defense. I love that she leads by example. She always sets the tone up top of the defense.
Rocinio, the captain of this Chilean squad. She's on the scouting report. Madison Booker guarding her that time. Wholesale changes for Team USA as we take a look at this last replay.
Yeah, just a push out in front, but Hidalgo, I mean, one of the best defenders in the country as well. We talk about her, she's a great scorer, she's facilitating, but her bread and butter is on the defensive end. Defensive Player of the Year as a freshman in the ACC and Rookie of the Year. It's 5 steals per game her rookie year. Incredible.
Can't dribble loosely around her at all. 3 on the way, off the mark. There's her former college teammate, Olivia Miles, to the basket. No one stopping basketball that time for Chile, and an easy 2. Campos says, let's slow it down. She puts up 5 fingers to call a set. Rocinio on the wing. 6 to shoot. Campos tees up a corner 3. Can't get it to fall. And rebound plucked down for Team USA. Stolke underneath was double teamed. They'll stay here with 15 to play for Team USA, and we'll have a new body enter the game for Chile. So we look at this last replay.
Yeah, Stolke's such a physical interior player. I love she knows how to use that back to the basket around the paint, but you credit Chile, right? Collapsing on the ball. They're going to play feisty, and they got to give themselves a chance. They're going to have to come up with some of those plays.
Johnson rips through, picks up her dribble in the awkward spot, was bailed out by Miles. Beers falls away. She's going to follow her own, battling for it, and Ojeda finally picking it up. Lubicic tees up the 3, left alone for a second. And Team USA paying the price, not showing. What a start for Chile. A tie game here early on in the first, and the crowd really into this one. Johnson looking to respond, foot on the line, it's a 2. And 1 and done that time.
Couple possessions, USA settling for fadeaways, settling for outside jumpers, and fairly early. You think they want to attack in the paint, right? Go get those paint touches.
And use their size that they have the advantage of. I mentioned Chile doesn't have much size on this roster. Aguilera called it. The bank still open late night here on a Saturday. And the lead for Chile. Stolke bullying her way inside, and she's hammered.
But you see Team USA up and really cheering her on. That's what they wanted. They wanted the tough attack inside. Absolutely love Stolke's game. I think we all kind of got to know it over the last couple years at Iowa. Playing in some real big-time, highly publicized games herself, and I think she's just so solid. She's efficient in her touches. She knows how to kind of fit in and play around other stars, which is the key every year when you look at Team USA, right? All of these, she knows how to kind of fit in and play around other stars, which is the key every year when you look at Team USA, right? All of these players are the big-time names in their programs, and then you come here and you've got to learn how to fit in. And that young woman right there, I think she's been showing us she can do that for a long time. No
question. Beers cleans up the missed free throw, ties the game at 14. That's one of the tough things to do for Coach Lawson and her staff is to find everybody to fit the puzzle. Everyone's a different size, a different piece to the puzzle. They got to find a way to make the perfect picture and stand on top of the podium 8 days from now. Alarcon, I thought the shot clock was winding down. That time, the crowd kind of got to her and rushed her. Miles turning the corner, tough layup.
Oh, the finish, she's so smooth. It's going to be so strange, I don't know about you, but to see her in a TCU jersey next year.
Will be.
What an interesting story. Probably as high as #2 in the W draft. A lot of mock drafts had her projected. She decided to transfer and go play for Mark Campbell at TCU.
It's going to be a terrific addition, but right now trying to win a medal for her country. Beards was calling for the pass up top. Goes out of bounds. 18 to play with for Team USA on this possession. Kara Lawson played in this tournament, the FIBA Women's AmeriCup. In her playing days, now coaching on the sideline. It's not often you get to be here as a player and then be the head coach.
Those are the ones you got to just calm down and knock them down, right? Wide open off movement, and then that's also what really pumps the crowd up. As a player, you wish you could have that one back.
That was Abujeres trying that deep 3. 3-second difference between shot and game clock. As Miles will look to get the final look for Team USA here. Nepkins for 3. Great step back, and she drills it. Time for Andujar to get a look. That would be good if it goes off the glass. And that's how we'll end the first 10 minutes of play. Well, Chile able to step in here, get a couple of punches. The Team USA jabbing back, and they'll take a 5-point lead into the quarter break.
That was the first made 3 for Team USA. And so it kind of caught in that mid-range, right? They really haven't taken a whole lot from long range, 1 for 2. So 20 shots, that's healthy, right? You want to attack, you want to get inside, but I think a couple of those have also been mid-range. Fading away, some mid-range post faders, but when they're drilling it inside, they're finding some success.
Take a look at some of the best plays from the first 10 minutes of play here in a sold-out venue in Santiago, Chile. The crowd has been into it well before tip-off. They were in their seats and they were loud. Right now, they see their team down by 5 after the first 10 minutes of play. And for Chile, they came out, you could tell there was some nerves and nervousness with this offense. Defensively, they've been showing themselves and using their hands very actively.
Yeah, they have to be so proactive, especially when they're sending help and backside rotations, when they're undersized like this. But Carolyn, what you just said, right? Because of course we can sit here and talk about, oh, they are playing at home, it is unique. Absolutely, don't want to take that away from them. But there comes a certain amount of pressure that comes with that too, right? Because they're not just happy to be here. They want to compete. And you know who your first game's against. You know who you're drawing in your pool and what that looks like. And so you have to applaud the Chilean team for really the composure and poise they've showed.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now to download the app. Courtside 1891. Streams, schedules, scores, and so much more. Not only from the Women's AmeriCup right here in Chile, but we have the final of the Eurobasket happening tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. Courtside 1891. Your home for FIBA basketball. USA basketball to start the second quarter. Up by 5, 19-14. Smith, her first touch of the rock. Beers coming through the lane, banging down low, can't get to fall. And Chile able to clear. USA +5 in the rebounding battle for the first 10 minutes. Sanchez on the baseline. Campos, a deep 3 as the shot clock winds down. Got it to the rim, almost got the kind roll. And the first offensive rebound of the night for Chile. Unable to cash it out. 3-point opportunity there by Lubicic. Miles saw Stolke running. Stolke blocked from behind. got a little too deep on that rim run.
Yeah, Chile did a nice job of just staying vertical and maintaining their space.
Campos using the Sanchez screen. Sanchez up fake, and got ripped. Diving on the ground, good hustle there by Sanchez, but commits the foul.
But those are the ones that nobody's mad at you for taking, right? I mean, what the hustle to get down on the floor.
Good sportsmanship afterwards to make sure that Neepkins is A-okay. Could have been dangerous here.
You saw Sanchez, all she was looking at was the ball.
Yeah. And almost got it. Miles turns the corner, tough layup.
Her scoop game is off the charts elite. I mean, that is not easy to do. Last minute switches, overhand, underhand, getting under defense, but it looks so easy. Her touch and kiss off the glass is incredible.
And then she picks up an offensive foul. She was trying to navigate through the lane, not being hung up on any screens. Miles, a really good defender in her own right. Notre Dame had a pretty good defensive backcourt last season. Edwards back into the game for Team USA. You see the foul there.
Yeah, just trying to recover off that sound screen.
Well, a lot was made of the physicality at this level for this young Team USA squad, and so far they've been able to meet the match. And in fact, they're delivering some blows on their own. How about that move by Edwards?
And a great pass from Audi Crooks. So you talk about tough screens. The game changes when that woman checks into the game. So that's how you impact when your number gets called.
Largest lead of the game for Team USA. 8:08 remaining in the first half. We'll listen in to the Chilean huddle.
Bien. Necesitamos estar atentos en defensa para llevarlo a jugar 4 pases, por ejemplo. 4 pases. Hay un Iverson, hay un back diagonal, hay cosas que van viendo en el juego que necesitamos estar preparados. A partir de seleccionar bien en la ofensiva, vamos a volver bien, vamos a ponerlo a defender 5 contra 5. Entonces necesitamos seguir generando buenos tiros. Vamos ahora a una 4 normal. 4. Cata primero, Valentina después. Así que el primer tirador a cualquiera de las dos y el fred para Cata. Y tal vez lleguemos al pique España. Vamos a ver. ¿Está claro? Dale, vamos con todo. Dale.
Some of the sights and sounds here in Santiago, Chile. As Team USA, a 23-14 lead, 2 minutes into this second quarter. Managing the game is going to be so important for Chile. Coach Santander taking that timeout. You felt as though momentum was shifting in a bad way for his squad.
Yeah, a couple empty possessions offensively, right? And even the illegal screen, you got to calm down, hit your screen, stay super disciplined with your ball movement, because USA as well, big, long bodies put a ton of pressure on at the perimeter.
Lucic has had 1 3 in the game so far, gives it up to Campos. Smith all over her. Campos stares at the defense with 4 to shoot. Weaving through traffic, Campos tosses it up, hits the front of the rim. Audi Crooks vacuums in the rebound. Edwards runs the floor beautifully.
Now you're starting to see that suffocation from USA. Chile was trying to set screens and not creating any advantages. When you use a ball screen, you got to get something out of it, and layer after layer, just having a hard time, and then you got to get back the other way because the Americans are going to get outrun.
That time they did create an advantage with that ball screen, but a turnover as Campos could not find her rolling teammate. Lucinho back on the floor, the captain for Chile. Had a very nervous first shift. Let's see if that opportunity to watch the game a little bit calms her down. Miles. Neepkins for 3. Indeed.
2 for 2 from long range. Oh, she's got a beautiful release on her shot.
This is the biggest run for Team USA at the moment. They're opening this game up. Miles got a fingertip to it. So did Edwards, and she comes away with the basketball. Edwards pushing, in and out cross. Edwards takes the bump and lays it in. Joyce Edwards is putting on a show here early on.
And she's showing her ability to handle in the open court. Strong finish at the rim, but it's how she gets there that is equally impressive.
Those long strides, keeping the dribble in front of her. 9 points and counting for her in this basketball game, leading the way for Team USA. The last foul call on Smith.
Those types of fouls are going to happen when you're playing that type of pressure with that type of intensity.
Rocinio thought about the 3. Edwards was there. 2 to shoot. And that's going to be a shot clock violation. Once again, the pressure defense paying off for the Americans.
And this is a big lineup. When you look across the board, every position looks like for Team USA that they have the height advantage, and they're using it on the defensive end. And passing lanes just simply aren't there right now for Chile.
Here's Miles. Meekins, good pass to Audie Crooks. An unselfish play in the lane.
Another player with a beautiful touch, by the way, and Audie Crooks. The way that she can kind of carve out her own paths around the rim and finish, that time just sliding to the right spot without the ball in her hands.
Some of the best footwork on this roster, and might have some of the best footwork in college basketball as well.
Yeah, I call her sweet feet. I mean, I love her game.
So warning there for Olivia Miles. And the U.S. extending their defense as Campos just gets over the timeline. Rocinio, high dribble. Ojeda back into the game for Chile. Ojeda over the top of Edwards, can't get it to fall. Rebound to Crooks. Edwards, deep post position, great spin. She's so smooth inside, but blows a layup. And Rocinio now with numbers. Gets the return pass from the corner for 3. Indeed.
And that's going to be Chile's best offense in transition, with getting that ball popping around, finding some open shots. Here we go again.
Trying to string a couple baskets together. Miles tried the block, couldn't get it to go. Campos follows up. Ojeda for 3. That's off. Blake's the other way. Skip past his side. Meekins for 3. And it's over the glass and out of play. Hidalgo checks into the game, as does Flau'jae Johnson and Madison Booker.
That's always the other aspect where it gets exhausting playing against the Team USA, is they just roll in and they don't lose. They don't lose much when their depth comes in.
Sanchez driving, and she's going to get fouled by Flau'jae Johnson. That will send her to the line. Team USA, one of the deepest teams here in Chile. Earlier you saw Brazil was a pretty deep squad and some size. Canada earlier this morning as well.
Well, this is going to be a tough 10 days for some of these teams. They're really going to have to compete to win games. But for Chile, I think they've really figured it out. If they want to generate some scoring opportunities, it's going to have to be in transition. Because when they're settling into a half-court offense, USA is just really, I mean, they're taking up passing lanes, they're hedging, they're recovering off screens, and they're tough in a half-court setting just because of the size discrepancy.
Sanchez, who's at the line, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Amy, one of the oldest players on the team at 27 years old.
Wow.
To be young again, huh?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Stop. It's like way past my bedtime, by the way.
Likewise.
And there's no time change.
Johnson tried to find the cutting Van Sloten, threw it out of bounds. So 4:28 remaining in this half. An opportunity for Chile to gain some momentum and maybe go to the locker room break feeling a little bit better about themselves than they do right now. Ganeo finds Sanchez. Look at the footwork by Sanchez, unable to score. And Van Sloten with the rebound. Hidalgo, look at her speed, finds Van Sloten. 3 white jerseys around her and gets stripped. And Campos did not have numbers, so tried to weave out of traffic. And Sanchez traveled.
Yeah, that's a tough for Sanchez, right? Because it's unforced. Nobody really around her forcing that one, and I kind of believe it's Hannah Hidalgo makes you like think twice whenever she's out there roaming on the perimeter.
Mine's moving faster than your body can handle. That's a 10th turnover, by the way, for Chile. Johnson gets hammered, and Cousinho says, "Yeah, indeed, I fouled her." An opportunity to see Flau'jae Johnson at the line. A 21-4 run right now for Team USA.
Yeah, understanding they're getting out and running and having some fun and putting up points that way, but to me it's the defense. Chile scored 4 points here in this second quarter. That's where Team USA has really been able to generate their opportunities off stops.
Flau'jae Johnson, an absolute star in America, playing at the collegiate level. All SEC first team a year ago, averaging 18.6 points per game for LSU. And with Angel Reese now playing in the pros, Flau'jae's program was LSU.
Not just that, right? I mean, her musical career is taken off as well.
That's more than just a basketball player, indeed. But this is an interesting opportunity for her to play with so many talented players from around the country on the team and to figure out how to carve out a role for herself.
That's it. It's about being a puzzle piece.
Ganeo for 3, right into the hands of Flau'jae. And she finally puts a fork in it and hands it over to Hidalgo. Splash from 3, Blake's able to knock it down. She shot 34% from deep. Vanderbilt a season ago. Flau'jae almost coming over the steal. Cousinho turns. That was a 3. It's off the mark. And Hidalgo, head on a swivel, goes the other way. Flau'jae crossing over. Oh, what a pass! What a block by Sanchez! Ojeda the other way. Booker fouls her, and Ojeda will go to the line. What a terrific recovery by Sanchez.
Been a fun sequence the last couple minutes here. Flau'jae Johnson has had a really solid couple minutes, and I know that if you look at a stat sheet, it might not look like that, but she's making some passes, the way she's pushing pace, rebounding, evading defense, really igniting a bit more pace here for Team USA.
One of the leaders of this team. She was very vocal in practice just yesterday. As Ojeda knocks down the first. Valentina Ojeda playing for Virginia Commonwealth a season ago. 7.9 rebounds, or rather points, and 2.3 rebounds. On the Chilean squad, they're going to ask for a little bit more scoring from her.
Hey, go find a hooper that doesn't want that. We want you to score more.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's us asking us if we want more money on our paycheck. Yeah, okay, bring it on. Johnson for 3. Front of the rim. And Hidalgo again in the backcourt this time. She gets called for the foul.
But I thought Hidalgo was going to pick that off. I mean, she's a shark in the water if she's around. I mean, that's part of this game plan. It has to be part of the priority for Chile, is to just maintain composure in those type of situations, because that's when USA is able to go on these massive scoring runs, when you can't get a stop or get a score, or just stop a giant run. And so plays like that, where you get the whistle because you did the right thing, they matter.
Mayo misses the first free throw. This is her first ever event at the senior national team level for Ganeo. She had highs of 17 points and 8 assists in the same game back in April for Sportiva in the Chilean league. I'd love to see that type of production offensively at some point in this tournament from her. She's going to come off the bench for the majority of the tournament. And right now on the floor as Chile now sit back in the zone for the first time tonight. Johnson, good cut by Hidalgo. No one called her out. Stolke on the follow. You mentioned Anna Stolke just always in the right place at the right time.
And it's not a coincidence. Shoulders up, she's smart.
That's a great pass by Ganeo and finished off by Ojeda. Blakes steps into it right at the nail. Ripped there by Johnson, and then she gets fouled. It's the 14th foul for Chile here in this quarter. Both teams will be in the penalty the next time we hear a whistle.
And you have to know that point of attack defense is going, like that pressure is going to be very high the entire night. They're not going to relent on defense. It doesn't matter what the score is, and so you have to be able to handle that pressure. Flage with excellent ball pressure.
Blakes tried to find Stolke. Somehow she got the pass. And Stolke bodying her way in. Then it's going to be a foul called. Again, a late whistle that the crowd did not appreciate. But it was the correct call that time. A lot of body.
Absolutely. You have to make, you got to call it, right? Otherwise, that's when the game kind of starts getting out of control. But Stolke does an excellent job of protecting the ball and kind of absorbing the contact up her right side. She's such a physical player.
Second team All Big Ten last season. She had 7 double-doubles last year. And playing in the Big Ten is a pretty physical league. You got to bring your shoulder pads to play in that league.
And now wearing the Iowa jersey comes with a different type of expectation. And so last season, when you talk about her year she had, she was the only returning player from that national championship, that runner-up year. And so there was a lot of expectation there.
42-23 your score. Team USA in front. Timeout on the floor. We'll head to the Team USA huddle.
Si van a zona, hombro. Y si mantienen la defensa individual, la última la jugamos así. La bola la va a tener Amanda. Damari va a hacer un aclarado acá. Y Jovi hace un ghost pick. Un ghost pick para casi ni detenerse, para seguir. ¿Se acuerdan que lo hicimos? Y ahí va Cata a jugar el pick con Amanda. A ver si puedes acelerar. Pará, no vayas al pick. No vayas al pick, vos, Cata. Vos 1 contra 1. Cuando pasa Jovi, que posiblemente cambien, pasó, vos acelerá. Cata se te queda acá. Valentina te va a abrir y Dama dice fue al córner. Vamos, dale.
So some of the action halfway through this basketball game. On score line favors Team USA. Chile has still kept the energy up, playing at a high level. And let's see how they react coming out of this timeout. Under a minute to play in this first half. Lucic will get across the timeline. Ganeo crossing over, gets to the lane, offhand floater, can't get it to drop. Flage Johnson will push the other way. Johnson could go 2 for 1. Nice feed inside to Beards.
30 paint points for Team USA. that's their big advantage, right? I mean, listen, they can paint touch sprays. They'll get some nice open looks, but wide open layups.
The backdoor cut couldn't pay it off. Flage with the rebound. Shot clock unplugged. 10 seconds remaining in the half. Hidalgo turns the corner with pace. Couldn't get it to fall. Beers underneath, right over the front of the rim, and that's how we end the first 20 minutes of play. A dominant performance for Team USA. Kara Lawson making sure that that basket counted, and she got the thumbs up from the officials, and she'll head to the locker room with the score line 44-23 after the first half here in Santiago.
As soon as Team USA settled down there, I'd say halfway through that first quarter, they've been pounding it inside. They've been owning their size really well, and so it's been wearing down on Chile. As you look at the shooting percentages, that 29%, those have been tough shots. They've been highly contested for the most part. The turnovers, again, they're playing a tough defense. So as much as we're looking at the 46 points and how they've been so dominant, especially inside USA, to me, it's really been on the defensive end, and I thought Olivia Miles changed the game when she came in there.
She certainly did. Was able to turn Chile over a number of times, but also was able to settle down that American offense as well. Got them into their flow. Joyce Edwards leading all scorers at the moment. You see her here, a beautiful layup. Largely the game with 23. That's the lead at the half. They went on a 21-0 scoring run to Team USA in that first half.
And when you look at all these are just really well executed type of sets. You saw the high post backdoor cut. You saw the transition. There it was paint touch, kick out three. And so I don't know how much of these are actually design plays as opposed to just making the right read and playing basketball. And that's, to me, that's the best kind of basketball. And that's tough to do in game one when you really haven't had a whole lot of reps together. And so that's an impressive, especially, I'd say, second quarter for Team USA.
I have been impressed with how selfish they've been in the first half, at least. And it feels like everyone just wants to share the rock and get the best shot available. And to your point, sometimes you don't have to draw that up on a clipboard. You can just let the team flow. And high basketball IQ players just allow you to play that way.
There's a lot of time left, so if you're Chile, you're in the locker room and you're talking about some things, right? I mean, they've got to find ways to generate, I'd say, better shots offensively, higher percentage shots. And maybe your best opportunity is on the run in transition. Are they going to have to hit some big shots here in the second half? Absolutely. But then defensively, too, we talk about being proactive, playing to the possessions are dead, because USA, even on that last bucket, right, you got to come up with that rebound, but it's going to happen.
46-23 your score. We'll take a break and be back with more.
This isn't a moment. It's a time unlike any before.
It's not a request, not a maybe, not a someday.
This is now. Feel our presence, built on strength
and drive. Not rising, we are arriving. Not hoping, but owning.
This isn't a moment, it's movement. Constant, relentless.
Every cut, every pass, every shot.
Earned.
Taken.
Undeniable. The future, it's already here.
Forged in sweat,
ruled by queens.
When we move, the whole game shifts.
And we're unstoppable in all directions. We own the game.
High ball game, Perez on the run. It's blocked by Guafni. Puerto Rico ball.
Shot down the stretch there. Guafni coming up with a big-time block.
And friends, we are going to overtime. Easy rebound from Jackson to feed up to Reese. That one's pretty. And one, Reese. The combo.
Great concentration. Reese running the length of the floor. there pushing her arm away. You see the no look pass, nice finish, drop it off.
No, it's a miss. One speed behind the back pass for Hardo.
Here's the behind the back pass, nice finish. Back door. Bow. Get out of here.
Give it down low. Alexander working with great shaker. Right.
And that ball didn't touch the floor once. Shimmy, step through, up, bucket.
Dantes, a little fake out. Driving, Euro, in for two.
She was just so patient right there. She waited for the defense to break down.
Hill, enough time to do something with it. Kicks it into the elbow and will hit it for two.
Big time shot. And Sammy just elevates into her jump shot, fading to her left, knocking it down right at the buzzer.
USA, ball into Reese. She holds on, has to get it up. Rakia Jackson.
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world.
Back here in Santiago, Chile, sold out arena, 3,000 plus on hand. We've seen the first 20 minutes of this basketball game where Team USA is taking control, 46-23. As we take a look at the top scores from the first half, Joyce Edwards leading the way for Team USA, 9 points and counting for her. It's not just been the scoring. The ability to rim run has created opportunities for her team as well. Hasn't really had many assists, but the hockey assist has been there for her.
Yeah, and listen, when she puts pressure on the rim, great things happen for her team, and that's it. With or without the ball in your hands, she's running to the rim at full speed, and that's been very helpful, especially again, I think the first couple minutes, a little bit of jitters, and that's how you kind of calm everybody down. Just get right inside, finish right there, power move. When you look at Team USA, they have been completely dominating in every category. All those miscellaneous stats, plus 14 in points off turnovers, plus 24 points in the paint, plus 10 on second chance points. So it's tough, right? I mean, Chile's going to have to start hitting some big-time threes, I would say, if they want to get back into this game. Possible, but it's tough.
Joyce Edwards, just a teenager. Unbelievable to think about that. On the other side, Valentina Ojeda, 8 points and counting, most of them coming at the foul line. But she's had that energy and been the spark plug for Chile.
Yeah, look at that. That was such a little fake timing. That's the key, right? You can't get sped up. You got to play to the beat of your own drum. I like to call it be quick, don't hurry. Right. Because they just said they're going to have to run. They're going to have to play in transition. They're going to have to hit some big shots. But you can't hurry. You can't rush shots. You got to be quick. Can't hurry.
And Ojeda with the 8 points. Trying to keep her team at least within respectable distance. As point differential does matter in this tournament. Who knows when it will come back later on, either Manchu or help you. And Ojeda powering her team through the first 20 minutes of play here.
And I wouldn't be surprised if both teams talked about the first couple minutes of the second half and how important that is. Team USA with a 23-point lead is their largest lead of the night. So this goes one of two ways, right? And so they're probably saying, hey, let's lock down and put this away right now. And if you're Chile, the first couple minutes here, reestablish a tone. get some energy back, get some confidence, momentum back your way, and anything can happen. But you can't wait too late in a game like this, right? Got to come out of the locker room ready to go.
Saw Olivia Miles flash on your screen there. The game, the tenor of the game changed the moment she checked into the game in the first quarter. And it was like, everyone calm down. Olivia's here. And they played that way.
Yeah, I'm watching her, and it's both sides of the ball.
Right.
I mean, her finishing, every time she's in attack mode, be quick, don't hurry, nobody speeds her up. I mean, she is just, and when she gets to the rim, everything's so smooth and super solid. But then defensively, what a competitor. The refs are telling her to calm down on inbounds passes when you're up 20 points. But that's what this is all about, right? Like, that's wearing your country's name across your shirt. It has to mean something, and it certainly does to her.
In a hostile environment, you expected this young team, Team USA, to kind of show some signs, maybe some cracks. They haven't done that. They've come right out. And I wouldn't say they've silenced the crowd, but they at least turned the volume down a couple notches.
Yeah, Chile's got to find a way to get that back.
Yeah.
I'll say it goes to hitting shots. You got to get stopped, but you got to hit shots. That's where that crowd's going to get up.
On the other side for Chile, we talked about Ojeda, but they haven't had much from their captain in Cousinho, and she's had just the one basket so far. Just finding something easy for her, especially in the first 2 minutes of this quarter, could just open that basket up a little bit further.
But when you look at how poorly Chile shot the ball, 7 for 30 from the field, USA is only a plus 7 on the glass.
Right.
And so that you credit Chile for that. They are playing tough, and whether your shots fall or not, you can control the glass a little bit more than you can your shot making at times. So they have been aggressive there and taking care of it, but also USA plus 11 on field goal attempts. And it's hard to play in games when the other team's getting that many more shots.
Just 18% or 19% rather from three-point range for Chile. They're able to get a couple to fall and get that to a respectable percentage. This is a different basketball game. They have had some open looks, but also some looks where early in the shot clock, probably rushed, probably the nerves of the first game of this tournament. First time they're playing on this stage in a very long time as a nation. Crowds on fire. That happens. The second half could be completely different.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be great. You want to show up and show out for your hometown. And I say, like, that's the best thing as a player when you look into the crowd and your family's there. And it's not high school, it's not college, it's national, right? And so understanding all that comes along with that. But for Chile, they've got to create advantages on every offensive possession. So when they're setting screens, if it's just a switch, right, position to position, and you're met with resistance and you've got to actually retreat out of those, that's how you chew up your shot clock. That's what leads to last-minute contested shots, and those are really tough to make.
We've seen 3 other games so far today, if you're just joining us. In Group A action, we saw Canada defeat El Salvador, Brazil getting past Argentina, and Puerto Rico squeaking one out over Colombia in Group B action. These 2 teams playing right now are in Group B. 10 teams here. 2 had the rest day to start things off. That is the Dominican Republic and Mexico. We'll see everyone play at least 1 game after the 4 games are complete tomorrow on match day 2. But we were impressed with Canada the way they came out. A dominant performance defeating El Salvador 100-34. Brazil had a pretty good performance as well, but they did show some signs of letting their foot off the gas, but allowing Argentina to come back in their game earlier.
Argentina just couldn't hit a shot, and they dug themselves in a bit of a hole. They competed hard. They just couldn't hit some really good open shots, and so I was thinking immediately when that buzzer went off to call the game, you just knew the Argentinians, oh, you want to run it back, and you want to run it back right now, right? And so that would be, if they see each other later on down this event, that would be interesting.
And then Puerto Rico and Colombia, that was a back and forth affair. 14 lead changes in that one. The final one, Puerto Rico was able to hold on, and Colombia had a chance to tie that one late in the game, but missed a 3 from Rios, who had a terrific game, 20 points in that one for her. And Puerto Rico now 1-0, sitting atop of Group B for the moment. until the result of this game, whether it's Chile or Team USA, will be joining them at the top of that group.
And you're always considering the point differential, even when you're up big, especially early on. You're not gonna let down. You're not gonna back down. You're putting yourself in the best position. So when it's time to get out of pool play, you've got the highest seed possible.
If you want to keep up to date with pool play and everything else going on here at the Women's AmeriCup, you can go ahead and scan the QR code right there on your screen to download the app. Courtside 1891. Not only streams, not only schedules, but scores and so much more. It's your home for FIBA basketball. Well, the AmeriCup happening here in Santiago, Chile. We have Women's Euro basket also happening. The finals should be a good game. I have Belgium winning it, by the way. There's my prediction. Cats look good. Emma Miesemann, one of the best players on the planet. She's terrific.
She is fantastic.
And that backcourt, Julie Alamán still playing at a high level. And fantastic team Belgium has. I wouldn't bet on my prediction, but that's my vote. 46-23 to start this second half. Chile basketball, off we go. Beginning of the third quarter, Carlin Gay alongside Amy Otterberg. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Osinio inside to Sanchez at the nail. Hidalgo, excuse me, that was Smith coming up with a poke. Under 5 to shoot. Osinio takes the three, it's going to be short. Campos with a second chance opportunity. Cosinio, great pass. Perez on the hook.
And Olivia Miles looked like she just slipped, and so Chile maintained possession. But how about keep wearing him down, right? Doing a nice job moving that ball around. Pretty finish. That was for the crowd, right? The little hook.
Wake them back up and get them into this game. Miles from the corner, too strong. Edwards on the offensive board. She is so tough inside.
And O'Hara missed the box out, and it was unfortunate because her teammates had everybody else pinned, but that's a tough assignment, right? I mean, Edwards is a tough matchup on the glass.
She is a future pro, and she's going to be a star. Whoever's lucky enough to get her when she makes her way to the pro ranks. But right now, Dawn Staley enjoying her talents down in South Carolina. We're gonna have a good team again next year. Ojeda inside on the inbound. Someone fell asleep.
That's how you get that board back. All right.
That's the way to follow up bad tape with good tape.
Yeah. The coaches have a shorter term memory.
Yeah. It's gonna stay here with Team USA 8 to shoot. So Madison Booker will inbound here. She's been quiet in the game so far. Hasn't really been able to find the touch. Missed all of her shots in the first half.
But she's one of the more experienced. She's won 3 golds for Team USA at various levels, and so this is not super new to her, this type of competition.
What about Edwards stepping out and land beyond and drills the three? You're right about Booker. Has done it at the youth level. And here she is coming up almost with the steal. Cosinio. Sanchez in the lane, good footwork, got Edwards to lift and fouled her.
The Cosinio tapping her chest, because while it works out with free throws, you're running the risk of overpassing. You got a good open look, knock that one down with some confidence. Multiple pivots, multiple fakes, and I thought Edwards actually did a pretty good job of staying vertical, but got the contact call.
Sanchez's first free throw off the mark. Played in the South American Championship in 2024 and in 2022. Had a season-high 22 points, 12 rebounds for Concepcion in the Chilean League this season. Goes over from the line. Miles fires a pass to Stolke, but a little too hot for her to handle. Feels like every time Miles touches the basketball, it's the right decision. And I know that was a turnover, but that was the correct play.
You just have a big smile on your face watching her play, right? Because you just, what is she going to do next? It's so smooth.
You love watching basketball. Olivia Miles should be one of your favorite players. Perez inside, and I say that, and Olivia Miles commits a foul. So you don't love that for her, but you love it for Perez.
Carlin, I'm going to tell you something about myself. Sometimes I love fouls. It's okay. It's okay sometimes. You get many, as long as you make them count, there's nothing wrong with a good foul once in a while.
All right, everything Olivia does is great, all right? She fouls great, too.
Yeah, she fouls great. But that's a good take from inside from Catalina. And again, when you talk about slowing down runs, stopping momentum, getting to the free throw line, always a great, I call those stabilizers. They're stabilizing possessions. Take a deep breath in. You've got to hit your free throws. Chile's missed a couple in the last couple minutes here. That doesn't help you, but you slow the game down.
Finally get one to go. She plays for Sportiva in the Chilean League and averaged 12 points per game this past season. Played well in the 2024 South America Championships. And 8.5 points in that tournament, and that's going to be an offensive foul for Miles.
Miles probably got the call because there was a bit of an extension, but kind of like no call. I mean, Miles is just a big, strong athlete.
A little bit of a push off, but she now has fouls on back-to-back possessions. Campos, this side, Cosinhos did not hesitate that time.
There it is, that baseline skip pass is beautiful.
Lead down to 20 now for the Americans. Edwards at the nail, kicks it out. Three on the way, no good. Edwards pokes at it, somehow got the rebound, and she earns a trip to the line the hard way. Oh, to be young again. The way you hit the deck like that and just bounce back up.
Yeah, I heard it. I know. But listen, when you go hard, you fall hard. What a tough finish. She has just been almost impossible for Chile to contest with when it comes to the glass tonight.
Running out of superlatives to say about Joyce Edwards. This freshman year at South Carolina, 12.5 points per game. 5 rebounds, but really came alive in the tournament. First team All-SEC. She only started once as a freshman.
So you're on the first conference, like SEC hoops. Nothing to joke about. First team starts one game. I mean, you check in, you impact winning, you're a freshman. That speaks so much. You earn your respect quick.
Smith with the rip and the finish. Smith starting to get active here on these ball screens, not allowing Chile to turn the corner. That time gets hung up on one. Stolke there to help her out. And it leads to another turnover. And Miles crossing over. One-handed pass. Good feed, and Smith pays it off. Nice touch pass that time by Edwards.
So that starts on the defensive end, right? I mean, even when Stolke is switching on a guard screen, we talk about versatility. She really jammed up that whole play, and that's what Chile, I mean, that's the consistent thing we've seen from them, right? They're just having a hard time finding clean shots.
A hit after 3. That certainly was not a clean shot as Stolke was right in her grill, and a foul will stay here. That's going to be on Booker. Team USA's bench, hands on heads. They can't believe the whistle went against them. You see right there on the off arm, they call it on Booker. Alarcon into the game right now for Chile.
I also agree there should be no rebounding fouls in the paint ever. Just kidding. Most players.
Sounds like a couple went the wrong way on you that you're still holding a grudge about.
Oh no, I got away a couple too. What are you talking about?
14 to shoot for Chile on this possession. Goes inside Ojea. Johnson couldn't keep it in. Cosinhos now looking to penetrate on Booker. That's great defense initially there by Booker that forced a tough pass. 1.4 to shoot for Chile.
Yeah, and Flagre Johnson also there on the weak side. Almost comes up with the ball. You talk about being on a string connected defensively. Well, offensive chemistry, young team, newer group, we talk about that. Well, defense is a thing too. You got to have great defensive chemistry and show those two players working together nicely.
Timeout on the floor, 56-31. The USA in front, exactly 6 minutes to play in the third. We'll listen in to the American huddle. Coach Lawson there asking everybody to switch everything. Goes back to your earlier point about being connected. It feels like in most leagues now, professionally, whether it's at the highest level of the NBA, all the way down to the collegiate level, switching defense is the norm. But that's not an easy thing to do without communication.
Yeah, you have to have great versatility as well. And so it's a luxury to be able to, 1.4 seconds, you heard Coach say it, but also making the decision to put Joyce Edwards on the ball. Why? Take away the vision. And they're doing that in the inbounds here, but guess what? They're doing that in live play. They're doing it on the floor too. They've been just suffocating in terms of on-ball pressure.
1.4 for Chile to shoot. They have to get it in and then take a quick shot, but Stolke comes away with the steal. Here's Flau'jae Johnson trying to fight Stolke. Flau'jae has been looking for her teammates every time down the court.
And Kara Lawson clapping it up, by the way, because that's we all just heard. That's exactly what she asked for, right? The defense and then get out and run.
That will end up in the good pile of the film study tomorrow.
We like the good pile better.
Miles, nice pass to Edwards. It's a great dive that time by Edwards. Mousinho using a cross. It's tapped out of bounds. 9 to shoot for Team USA. You see Olivia Miles clapping her hands, encouraging her team as they're picking up the effort defensively. Van Sloten into the game now for Team USA, as is Blakes. Perez. Ripped by Miles. Numbers for Team USA. Edwards attacking, and she's fouled.
Well, once again, Olivia Miles anticipating the switch, right? I mean, defensively, she was off ball and really corner of her eye. She was able to make the play. It wasn't a full trap. It was a hedge and then a help from Van Sloten, but it caused a little bit of a fumble. Olivia Miles there, pick off the ball, and was that a no look? I think it was a no look.
It was a no look. And she waited for the right moment to give it to Edwards, not too early. And allowed Edwards to just 1-2 get to the rim. And Edwards with a smooth touch on the free throw.
This is a player that can play all 5 positions. You've seen her handle. You've seen her hit a 3 tonight. We know what she can do in the paint. And when you talk about the best players, the players that we love to watch, I just feel like the skill sets continue to grow. We're going to be watching that young woman play basketball for a very long time.
Maybe you think about this. This is her floor. Imagine what her ceiling is going to be like. Yeah. She's only going to get better from here on out.
19, not even grown, full grown yet, probably, right?
Just scratching the surface.
Incredible.
Khan there with the floater in the lane. That's her first 2 of the night. Beers thought about the 3. Kicks it back out to Miles. 2-man game between Miles and Beers. Beers good post position down low. That's a tough move. She got hit. And she'll go to the line. We talked about her off the top. Team USA does have a size advantage. Last couple of possessions, we're now seeing them utilize it.
Different types of bigs. We just talked about Joyce Edwards and her big versatility, but then they've also got the more traditional back to the basket, Reagan Beers, Audi crooks. And so when you're defending that, that's tough too, because you're having to switch the style and the type of player that you're defending.
Beers last season for Oklahoma in the NCAA, 17.3 points per game. We saw her show on that three-point attempt. 36% three-point shooter, so she does have the ability to step outside as well. And now in the modern game, playing that 5-out style is so beneficial to any team you're on. I'm with you, Amy. I love that old school back to the basket stuff more than I do the face-up game.
Yeah, we're losing it a little bit, so it's refreshing.
We could bring it back. Beers inside on the roll. A good find that time by Blaze. Alarcon gave it away. Johnson will push. Takes a tough look. Knew she missed it, so she followed her own. And tried to feed it inside to Van Sloot, but got poked away. Alarcon ripped by Hidalgo. And Hidalgo with an easy two.
And so we've been talking about the bigs. All right, we'll let the guards take some shine. Here we go. You give them so much credit. I think their ball pressure tonight has caused so much problems on the perimeter. And you're not always going to come up with the credit for that on the box. You're certainly not. But watching this game, that's where the problems have started for Chile, has been on the perimeter.
Here's Hidalgo, you mentioned that. It's the ability to just get out and extend that defense. Use their size to get in the passing lane. Previous possession was a foul called on Hidalgo. I will say Ojeda to the line for 2.
Earlier today, Kara Lawson won a gold medal as well, right? The Team USA 2008 Olympics. And I thought, I'm going to go back and look who the big centers were on that team. Lisa Leslie,
right?
Sylvia Fowles,
right.
Candace Park.
Yeah.
I mean, she played
Hall of Famers
with one herself, right? But it's just, you know, because as a guard now you're kind of coaching that different types of bigs she's got on this roster and how she can utilize them, and so that's why I wanted to go look what types of players she played with. She played with the best. You know what I mean?
That's why this team is ranked #1 and expected to perform at a high level each and every single time they step on the court, as Hidalgo steps into a 3 and drills it. 3 minutes remaining here in this third. And that's when you talk about the pressure to wear USA across your chest for this young roster, as Lubicic takes a step back 3. Tried to save it, goes out of bounds. But for this young team, playing the first time at the senior national team level, and by the way, they say Chile basketball last touched by the US, and Hidalgo cannot believe it. Let's see if Coach Lawson is going to allow this to go, not challenge it. She won't. 13 on the shot clock for Chile.
Sometimes you keep the chip on your player's shoulder out there. That's all right.
Yeah, have them defend.
Go get it back.
Another opportunity to defend and do it at a high level. Alarcon for 3. Indeed. She's come alive here in this third. 5 points in the quarter alone. Blake's at the nail. Deep post position that time. Beers able to get it to go.
Beers back to the basket. Traditional player has got you pinned. And that's almost too low to get hit pinned. That's a tough finish. She was so much under the basket, but you don't foul. That's what you don't do, because there's a good chance it's going to be an and one. Here's that nice 3 inside, kick out that ball side. Flage dropped into collapse, and so that's the right pass. And with those passes that sometimes look a little fumbled, you get your feet set a little, right? You saw the little hop, and that allowed shooter to really get underneath the ball.
So Alarcon at the line after the fouls. Team USA is in the penalty.
Alarcon, who's just hit the 3 that we saw. Now at the free throw line, this is her first FIBA event with the senior team. She's one of those 5 players. She
was slated to play at the 2024 South American Championship but missed it with injury. So making up for lost time here. What a great way to make your debut here at home as well.
And as long as you play hard, as long as you're showing maximum effort, that's #1, top priority at all times. And so she really come alive here.
Niepkin stepped out of bounds. Chile's stringing a couple possessions together now to try to wake this crowd back up.
And when you're forcing players to step out of bounds, that means you're forcing them out, right, away from the rim. Those are prideful possessions. A defender, you're sitting down and saying, you're not going to beat me. In fact, I'm going to push you out.
Lubicic. This side, nicely done, kept in. 5 to shoot. And Beers will come away with the rebound. Hidalgo will push. Blake's on the run. Crossing over in the lane. And she's hammered. And she'll go to the line.
What a strong take. And you want to talk about a scorer in Michaela Blakes. Plays at Vanderbilt for Shea Ralph. And this past season, she dropped 53 points in January, which was an SEC and a Vanderbilt record. She followed that up next month with a 55-point game at Auburn. The Division I record.
An unbelievable performance, a double nickel. How about that?
So that's more than special as a scorer, but guess what? You come to this team, you don't get quite as many shots, and so you have to find ways to continue to impact winning. I think she's played some pretty solid defense tonight, to say the least.
No question. Hidalgo missed it, got her own. Another offensive rebound for Team USA as they remain here on this side of the floor. Here's Blakes crossing over. Alarcon on her, but couldn't stop that jump shot. So poised.
Apparently the SEC couldn't either. So.
Niepkins came up with the steal and the lay. Under a minute to play here in this third. Chile looking to close this quarter with some momentum to head to the fourth. Alarcon to the corner. A three-point bomb dropped in by Lubicic.
And can you get a stop and another score?
They'd have to find a possession of the quarter if they're able to do so. Beards for 3. There's the range we talked about earlier. Shot clock unplugged here for Chile. They'll have the final look on the quarter if they want it. Lubicic just knocked down the last three-pointer. She crosses over, gets in the lane, draws a couple of defenders, and Durov for 3. So back-to-back triples for Chile, and almost a steal as Hidalgo is out of bounds.
All right, so your stop score came a little bit later. Stop score was the extra special, 0.9 seconds left, and you got to believe it's going to see a bit of switch all again. But that pass, well, that was a fake. I was faked out too because I thought she was coming up to that 45 slot. She actually kicked it into the corner. That's what you have to do to evade this type of defense, all right? All those little crafty things, they got to work out for you.
Lucinio was blocked on her attempt from mid-court by Van Sloot, and that's how we'll end the third period. 79-45, Team USA up big as we head to the fourth here in Chile. We'll get an opportunity to see the stats here from the first 3 quarters of play. Three-point shooting starting to come alive for Chile. They were 3 of 16 at the half. Hit 4 three-pointers in that quarter alone.
Yeah, I thought that third quarter was nice. So there was a bit more up and down, I thought, from Chile. They were able, especially in the back half of it, start finding some shots, and that's fun. You want to continue to keep your crowd engaged a little bit. That was a fun sequence right there. Off the turnover, yeah.
Ojeda had an opportunity to get things going here in the third. And Chile now, as of course they're playing for the win in this game, but also playing for momentum in their next contest as well. Because as you know, in these tournaments, you have very little time to prep. And then you start real games. And you're expected to win right away. There's no easy in to an AmeriCup. It's win, go all the way right off the top. And now you have back-to-back games, maybe one off day in between, and Chile's kind of thinking about what's next down the line here. Keeping good habits in this fourth quarter could lead to a win in their following game.
Well, they scored 23 points in the first half. They scored 23 points in that third quarter. Can they get back to that third quarter, more of a style of play, right? And that's the thing. You look at the film. This is the tough competition, and just in terms of physicality, in terms of the type of players, the type of defense that you're going up against, the type of athletes that are defending you. And so, can you work through that? Because if you can work through that, you can work through anything.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Courtside 1891, that's the app. Your companion app for the FIBA Women's AmeriCup. Not only this competition, but every competition that FIBA has. It streams, it scores, it schedules, and so much more. 79-45 the score. Team USA in front as we start the fourth quarter. Here from Santiago, Chile. Game day one, first game for these two teams in Group B. Earlier on in Group B action, we saw Puerto Rico with a 3-point victory over Colombia. Group A also started the day early this morning with Canada defeating El Salvador. And when I say early this morning, before noon is early to play basketball. But Canada was ready to go and defeated El Salvador in that one. And Brazil with a strong performance getting past Argentina in their first game.
There's going to be some really good ones in the upcoming days here. I really like what Canada's done with their roster. They've brought a little mix of everything. They've got some vets, Kayla Alexander, some vets, but then they've got some young superstars. Guess who I was just a Silas Ords.
Yeah.
Put that together. And a brand new head coach in Mel Fortner. So they're kind of putting it all together, figuring it out on the go. And as you mentioned, they look real good in that first game this morning, highly focused.
Mel Fortner obviously has ties to this U.S. squad. She was on the coaching staff at the Sydney Olympic Games in 2000. As Hidalgo comes away with the poke. Takes the contact, couldn't get it to go. A tough layup opportunity there for Ganeo. She couldn't get it to drop. Stolke on the rim run. Stolke, good position, good balance to finish it.
On one end, Chile got well to under the rim and threw up a shot. That's the difference. Salki takes the ball, takes the power dribble. She's not getting rushed. She's going to carve out that window, and she's going to do it at her own speed.
Ojeda lost the basketball. A little slippery out there. Hidalgo manipulating her body in the air, but falls hard on the deck. She's going to bounce right back up and head to the free throw line. So before the Hidalgo free throws, we'll have a timeout on the floor. 83-45, Team USA in front with 8:47 remaining in the game. And we'll get an opportunity to take a breather and talk about what's next for these two teams. We saw Colombia in the game before this 3-point loss to Puerto Rico. That's who's on deck for Team USA tomorrow night here in Santiago. And Colombia offers a different sort of game than what Chile brings to the table. Colombia way more experienced, and we saw that against Puerto Rico, but they also have a bit more size.
Yeah, and listen, they play tough.
Yeah.
They've got some big bodies inside. Their little point guard is fun.
Yeah, Rios was terrific.
And so she'll look to take on those challenges of Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles, whoever's guarding her up top. She's going to look to take them on, and so that'll be a fun matchup as well. And don't forget now, Colombia's also had that first game.
Correct.
And not happy about it, right? It was a close game that they dropped, and probably when you go look at that film, turns into a couple possessions here, a couple possessions there. So that's always I think, while you don't want to drop games, you look forward to the next one for that reason. And why not be this USA team?
I'll be licking their chops for that one as we take a look at some of the emotions from this basketball game as Hannah Hidalgo now toes the line. Notre Dame star, a 23-game season ago, shot the ball well from three-point range, 40% for her. But everyone kind of circles her defense as a defensive player of the year.
46, 40, 86. That's her splits.
Wow.
Very close to a 50, 40, 90, but also top defender.
Yeah. Going to be really good for a very long time. It's not even 21 yet. She comes up with a foul. A little bit too handsy. The coach doesn't agree with that foul call. You see her at the top of the screen, Coach Lawson had to turn away from the court.
And Hannah also smartly kind of kept her head the other direction for a second, get it out. But when you are, when you steal the ball with that type of numbers, you have to pursue it that hard, and she does, right? You're swinging for the ball, you're going to get the call sometimes.
Deep three as the shot clock was winding down and ends up being an air ball. Well, for Chile, they'll be in action tomorrow night against Mexico, who had the off day today. And having the off day on the first match day means that you don't get a break. It's back-to-back-to-back games for Mexico. Chile have the advantage of at least having one game underneath their belt. They played on this floor. They played in front of a home crowd. They have a similar crowd tomorrow night against Mexico, while Mexico will be feeling things out as Audie Crooks on the fadeaway.
The turn and the touch, too.
Yeah. But yeah, Mexico will jump into things, and it's always tough.
Yes, you know, if it was up to me, I would not like to have the first day off. One game's, you know, you're not super tired, so like the whole rust versus rest thing. I would rather my off day a little bit later into it. And barring the most incredible comeback we've probably ever witnessed, you're going to be playing a Chile team that's down one, and so they want to represent on their own court. They're going to come at you.
People always talk about the rest day being a recovery day for your body, but also mentally, it's an opportunity for you to kind of disconnect. These are tough games from start to finish. It's almost like you're playing a championship game every time out on the floor. It's nice to have that mental reset.
Yeah, and the physicality, that's it too, right? It's just the bumping, and you get a week into an event like this. I'll take my half day around then, please.
Most of these teams flying in just a couple of days ago, so wherever they came from, whether it's a short flight or a long one like you and I took to get here, it's nice to have that break. Needkins will clear on the missed layup. Audie Crooks, Needkins two-man game. Hidalgo wants the Audie Crooks screen. Hidalgo with the float and gets the kind roll.
And by the way, rejected the screen, but who wouldn't want an Audie Crooks screen? I mean, you better run off her because you're going to be wide open. I'll tell you right now, and Hidalgo actually rejected that time.
Well, Sanchez, who was able to get the last bucket there for Chile. Hidalgo now running the other way, blocked by Sanchez, but also fouled by Sanchez. And Hidalgo will go back to the line.
It feels like Hannah has been in the paint at will. Right, she is just attacking and getting there, and extremely quick. But if I'm Chile, I want to resist that a little bit more, right? I mean, she's not tall, but extremely fast. But Chile's got some guards themselves, right, who aren't necessarily tall, but they're very, very fast. And so, stay a lot of time left. 6:17.
Right. Now, it's tough for the guards to stay in front of Hidalgo, but you think about the bigs who have to come over and help. They don't normally see someone that fast coming at them full speed.
Yeah. And I say 6:17 in that USA is not going to back off.
Correct.
Right,
And neither is Chile. And in FIBA tournaments, point differential matters, so you won't see the Americans take their foot off the gas pedal. They saw what Canada did in game number one, getting to the century mark. They're 10 points away of doing that. Sometimes you like to send a little message to the rest of the tournament saying, hey, we could score two at a high level. Meanwhile, Chile wants to mitigate some of that and not have that big point differential kind of hanging around their necks as they progress through this tournament. Sanchez on the ball fake. And it's going to go the other way as Beards did a good job of using her hands.
And when you're up like this, you set goals. You start setting your own goals, right? You're playing for other things. Can we get to this? Can we do this? Defensively, can we contain this? There's always ways to keep it competitive.
Beards was blocked on the first attempt, but followed it up and was able to lay it in. Back to your setting goals point, it's also an opportunity for you to run your sets against a live defense that isn't your own in practice. Ojeda attacking. Thought she was fouled, but Stolke did a good job of just staying down and defending. Sanchez has it now. There's a fresh 24 because of the change of possession. Campos. Perez turns the corner in front of Beards, and she slaps it away. 7 on the shot clock for Chile to work with on this possession. Campos on the inbound. It was touched by the Americans, so we'll stay here again. 5 to shoot. Once again, Olivia Miles in the mix.
On these inbound things, you need just one good clean screen.
Thinking the same thing.
5 seconds left, one good clean screen.
Perez was galloping towards the goal, and Miles came up with the strip. Miles will tee up the 3. It's way off the mark. Even her air balls are great.
No, she's hearing it from the crowd. The crowd was especially happy to see Olivia Miles airball that shot. It certainly felt like that.
A little energy to the sold-out crowd here on hand. They didn't, unfortunately, have enough to cheer about here in the second half, but they were on fire an hour before pregame.
Oh, what a moment, by the way, when the home team was running out. Special, and you really felt the weight and what it meant for this group here.
Yeah, you felt the electricity in this arena. As Ojeda attacking the rim. And that ball goes out of bounds, last touch by Chile. Well, Chile had a golden era, so to speak, of basketball back in the mid-1950s. And 4 South American titles. They dominated this region. They're trying to get back to that. They're the lowest ranked team here in this tournament, and they qualified as the host nation. A lot of pride around the city of Santiago to have this event here. And they're not just here to make up the numbers. They want to progress, get to the knockout stage. There's 10 teams here. 2 will have their tournament cut short. Chile does not want to be that team to watch everyone else continue to play while they sit at home.
Well, that's partly why their head coach, Santander, he holds monthly camps here. Like, he's trying to, that's grassroots stuff. Right. And that's when you talk about developing your national programs, getting back to that high level. It doesn't happen overnight. And I appreciate it. I read that about him, and I love that. I mean, former head coach with the men's program, now he's on the women's side. And once a month, he's doing it for locals, trying to share love of the game, but then also identifying talent, growing talent. And it's really, to me, how you started. It's foundational stuff.
Campos down the lane was stripped. Van Sluten will push the other way. Blakes will take the 3 off the mark. It's one of the great things about the game of basketball, especially when you play it for your country. Just hearing that national anthem a cappella style with this sold-out crowd, you felt what it meant for this city, but also the country, to be here on this stage and to have those grassroots training camps. Those camps could be developing the next Chilean great star that maybe one day plays in the NCAA, maybe one day plays pro overseas. It has to start somewhere, as Beards with a tough layup inside, and we'll go to the line for one more.
What a finish.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Jeez. But, well, let's look at it one more time. That was released. How many hands are on the ball there? I mean, at one point or other. Wow.
3 white jerseys around her, and she just put it that one off the window and got it to go.
That's weight room stuff right there.
It is, no question.
You don't get that without working for it. But the last thing I'll say, just, and I always take a moment. We've seen it in Canada with the WNBA games. When you get to be in the building for something that is not normal.
Right.
I always think there are a couple young girls out there that will be on this court, right? That will in the future probably be out there, and they'll remember these nights and they remember these games. And sometimes this is where those goals start, because it's really hard to believe you can do it until you start seeing it. And there's some young girls that are seeing something like this for the first time tonight. I always love that. I think that's the greatest part about hosting events like this.
The great thing for them is this is just the beginning, as we'll be here for the next 7 days. Have an opportunity to cheer on their host nation, but also some of the great teams here in the Americas. And the great thing about what you just said, countries like Canada, countries like Chile, where basketball isn't necessarily the #1 sport. Well, tonight it is for a lot of those young girls sitting in the crowd.
And to them it is.
Yeah. Campos on the wing, watched by Miles. The jab steps back. Can't get it to go. Great offensive rebound inside, and they'll pull it back out. Rocinio's three almost banked in. Last touch by Chile will go the other way, and they're still battling with 1:30 remaining in this game.
And you heard the crowd's displeasure with the whistle. They want the ball. And that's just it, is that you look at the score, there are young players that want to be there. They want to be out there playing Team USA, understanding that challenge and what it means, but that's like the true competitor. That's, right. You can't wait for your turn. And that's what you work for, to go out there and play Team USA, to play some of the top teams in the world. You want that. You work for that.
So we'll get a review here and have an opportunity for our officials to get some FaceTime and allow us to rest our voices. So we'll listen in.
Okay. We have initial decision, blue team. We are going to the team couch the ball out of bound, please. Go, go, go. Go, 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 please. White. Last, white, white. Let me check. White, white, blue, white. We had another come, please. Let me see, okay. White, blue, white. Let me the shoulder, right? The other camera? No? Maybe like this? No. Ah, yeah.
Go back.
Go back, thank you. White, blue, white, 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 white. Okay, I consider the clear contact, the last player white, blue team. I confirm the decision, right? I confirm. Okay, thank you. Kick-off challenge unsuccessful, blue team, blue ball.
So Team USA basketball after the officials review with 1:32.
I don't care what the score is. The drama of that. I was like leaned in on it. This has been one of my favorite features of the day, and we're going to have this the entire, but with the officials, you're getting to listen to them. The conversations, we had a couple really good ones earlier today where they're kind of debating or going back and forth. You love hearing that stuff because you don't usually get to do that when you're watching a game.
Yeah, the access has been incredible. That was Juan Fernandez from Argentina, our crew official.
And I'm totally going to be starting to call the colors like that. I've never even thought of that, to be honest with you. I'm going to be sitting blue, white, white, white. That's such a good way to do it. You learn something every day, Carly, every day.
It's been great. Campos in the corner, penetrating three to shoot. Able to slip by Johnson, but unable to finish. And under a minute to play here in this basketball game. A great performance from Team USA. Johnson short on the three. Chile will take the lessons learned from this one. They had some moments, some spurts, and they could show tomorrow in film and say, hey, let's bottle this up and take this into our next matchup against Mexico. Team USA, meanwhile, will take on Colombia in our final game of the day tomorrow. We'll start the day off with the Dominican Republic in their first game against El Salvador, who are licking their wounds after being defeated by Canada. And Canada and Argentina will do battle in Group B action to round out the 4 games you'll see tomorrow. Of course, you can do it all on the court side, 1891 app. Keep up to date with all that's happening here at the FIBA AmeriCup. And a reminder, of course, if you're in the mood for more hoops, Eurobasket final goes down tomorrow.
Does not stop.
It absolutely doesn't stop. Basketball never stops. Spain and Belgium.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
And that game will happen from Germany. There'll be 4 games at Eurobasket on the final day, but the final matchup for the championship is Spain and Belgium. Can't wait for that.
I'm gonna agree with you, Carlin, though. I think Belgium takes them.
Yeah. They've been playing well.
Yeah.
Obviously, being in the final, but Emma Missman is just a phenomenal basketball player. Julie Alamán, a 1-2 punch. Tough to beat. Miles pulls down the board. The shot clock will be unplugged. And Team USA can dribble it out here. And they'll hold it. So the final score in this one, Team USA with a dominant performance, putting up 108 points, defeating Chile 108-47 in their first game here in Santiago, Chile. And now it's in the top Group B after match day 1.
Team USA should be proud. It's not the score, it's the way that they did it. They came out and executed. They were a plus 50 points in the paint. Their advantage is their size, and they got to it. They had 66 of their points tonight coming right into the paint. They didn't hit a crazy amount of threes, but they were more efficient, obviously, as you see there. And Chile was going to have to take a lot more threes to put up some points. But also points off turnovers, 39-8.
Wow. So
what's your defense look like? USA played really tough defense. I also think Chile would probably look at that film and say, how can we impose our will a little bit more on the offensive end, be a bit more intentional about what we want to do. Tough task. Do I think that they're going to go to bed at night and not think they can improve? No, like they're going to say, hey, how can we get better? How can we learn from this? And that would be, I think, generating better open shots moving forward.
Crowd on hand and clapping the team off the court. It was a sold-out venue here. Let's take a look at the standings here in Group B. As Team USA tops the group. They top the group on point differential. Puerto Rico in second place after defeating Colombia by 3 points. Colombia and Chile rounded out. Mexico we'll see in the first game tomorrow.
Yeah, these games don't stop. There we go, we're underway.
We are off and running here at the FIBA Women's AmeriCup. Best plays from the 4th quarter. And it's going to be all Team USA as they dominated 108-47 for their first victory here in Santiago, Chile. Well, the game started off with a lot of emotion in this arena. A sold-out crowd singing their national anthem a cappella. And the team came out with some fight in them. Playing Team USA tough through the first 10 minutes of this game. Even taking a lead early on in that one. Their biggest scoring run was 6 points. They led for about 4 minutes of the game. 5 lead changes. Then Team USA tightened the screws defensively, led by Olivia Miles and Hannah Hidalgo. We saw Madison Beards with a terrific game. She was the leading scorer for the Americans. And Joyce Edwards, the captain of this unit, was just terrific in her debut at the senior national team level.
Yeah, this is what makes them a huge threat in this event, in this tournament, is that these looks are 4th quarter games already out of reach. They're still playing the right way. They still have incredible balance, right? The spacing, the composure, everything they're doing. And that's what good teams, that's the makeup of a good team. You give them credit because they've been thrown together, right? And not a whole lot of time together with this group, but they came out poised. They've been locked in and executed. And so to me, I mean, of course, they look real good today.
4 games in the books today on match day 1. Team USA, Puerto Rico, Brazil, and Canada winners. We have 4 more coming your way tomorrow. For Amy Audibert, I'm Carlin Gay. We'll see you then. Enjoy the rest of your evening.